Hey guys, it's Emily. Welcome everyone. We're going on a trip to visit places from the past. Today's history lesson takes us to Orlando, but not to any of the theme parks in the area. We're going to other places in the actual city of Orlando. Since we have finished our visit to Disney World and we had all day to drive back north to Georgia, my parents thought it would be neat for me to see some places where they met, worked, and got married. So we're heading up Interstate 4 toward downtown Orlando. And Dada, would it hurt you to keep it under 100 miles per hour just once? I'm getting whiplash just watching this. Our first stop is a few miles east of the tourist areas where SeaWorld, Universal Studios, and International Drive are located. We'll be seeing these places roughly from southwest to northeast. As you can tell, the weather is not too great, and from here it is still a long drive just to get to this Georgia state line. Our first stop is St. Mary of the Angels Episcopal Church, between the Florida Mall and the airport, just north of Sand Lake Road. This is where my parents got married. They say the outside of the church hasn't changed all that much. They don't remember if there was a preschool in it back then. They're having virtual church services right now, so we don't want to go inside. My parents definitely recall their wedding and going through those doors about 400 years ago. Back here was where their reception was. Now it looks like they converted it into a storage area. Definitely a lot of memories for my parents and also their close friends that were in attendance. They all agree on one thing: that my parents should have eloped instead. I'll leave it there. Now heading north on Orange Avenue into downtown Orlando. Many more buildings have been built since my parents left the area. We're heading to an office building, where my dad's final job in Orlando was. Pulling into the parking lot, and we are all blown away by the crazy flyover bridges. Looks like they go right over some of the parking lot here. They are redoing the I-4 and 408 interchange. My parents remember the 408 was the East-West Expressway. Guessing because it went, east and west. This is Lucerne Plaza. The west side of the building is just generic, but my dad's office faced east, so he got to see some neat things from time to time out his office window. Yeah, those flyovers are almost attached to the building. I'm surprised they didn't just take down this building. The side view of the highway can't be good. This side faces east. My dad was on the 3rd or 4th floor, he can't remember which floor. He had a view of Lake Lucerne, as well as the 408 running across the lake. But from his office, he got to see the smoke from the space shuttle launches. Kennedy Space Center is not far away. He used to love seeing the launches go up in the sky. The lake is still really nice, though there is a lot of algae where they are still working on the road. Some more views of the highway construction, right up on the building, multiple levels of highway. Our next stop is a few blocks north. This is Lake Eola. An absolutely beautiful place where you can walk or run around the lake. They have concerts here sometimes. There's an iconic fountain in the center of the lake. I think it lights up at night. Apparently the fountain is named Orlando Centennial Fountain. Been here since 1957. In the distance are some boats shaped like swans you can navigate into the lake. This is an interesting feature here. Wish we had some time to walk around the lake, but we have a few things left to see. My parents used to go to an annual event near here called Light Up Orlando. One time they went to that event, they saw a then popular band perform there, Bruce Hornsby and the Range. Heading north, looks like this big building under construction on the right has replaced another building where my dad worked. The main location of a check cashing store business was on the right. My daddy used to do accounting and computer work for them. My dad also assisted in having a fellow employee arrested for stealing money. The employee thought taking a different amount of money almost every day would cover her tracks. Nope. My dad was in charge of the books, and at the time he seriously considered becoming a CPA. No way he wasn't going to notice someone taking money. Anyway, we're about to head east on Colonial Drive, the main road through the center of Florida. My parents always got stuck at this intersection every day coming home from work. A few years back, they converted this busy intersection into a flyover. Looks like they added some lanes as well. Now we can just zip across Cimarron Boulevard, a very busy thoroughfare. Now we are making a right onto Chickasaw Trail, heading toward my parents' final residence in Florida. Surprised they haven't widened this little 2-lane road. Anyway, their last place is on the right, Windrift Apartments. Not sure I like the bright red colors, but it looks like this is still a nice apartment complex. The building on the right is where my parents lived, and almost got flooded out when a tropical storm dumped a couple feet of rain. There it is on the right, 1026 Jib Drive. Actually, that was the second apartment unit they lived in. After they got married, they were in 1025, which was its tiny studio apartment. Across the street is 1026, two-bedroom apartments. Don't want to film too much, but that was their apartment right there, with the candy canes, decorated for Christmas, it looks like. They were close to the fitness center, across the street. Now heading back north, before my parents decided to leave Florida, they were looking into buying a house in what was a new subdivision, just up the street. After all this time, it still looks like a nice neighborhood. Houses are close together, typical for this area. Now heading further east, we are working our way toward the University of Central Florida. At this light, the intersecting road is called Econo Trail. The road is commonly called Econo Trail. That's much easier. And now we are close to the university. We are turning left on Alofaya Trail. Alofaya Trail? Alofaya Trail? Woo! Very close to the university, just about across the road. We're going to visit the apartment complex where my parents live. The current name of the apartment complex is called The Place. The most generic name possible. The Place. During their time, the apartment complex was known as Arbor Village, then became Arbor Apartments, then I think Jefferson Village. My parents were in college, didn't have any money, dorms had gotten too expensive, so this was the best they could do at the time. Having said that, this place is a dump. The Spanish moss trees are cool though. We're heading to where my mama lived. She had a roommate for a while, until she dated her ex-boyfriend, which was, as you can imagine, made things awkward. Mama lived on the right side, downstairs. That AC unit was much bigger back then, and inside she found a litter of kittens, some of them she kept, Whiskers and Tigger. My dad lived in another unit and had a couple of roommates. We'll check that out in a minute. The shuttle is how my mama got to UCF. She had no car of her own, and I think the shuttle was free, so it worked out pretty well. This is the other end of the apartment complex, at Hoskins Holler. My dad lived in the downstairs unit behind the fake fire hydrant. Looks like they have a dog area set up next to the apartment. That should make the area smell real great. Dada thinks there was a tennis court on the other side of the building. Finally, we pay a visit to the University of Central Florida. This is where my parents met. When they met, my mama was in high school and dating a college friend of my dada's. When mama got to college, she broke up with that guy and she started dating my dada. Actually, it's more complicated than that. Have you seen the Seinfeld episode, The Switch, where Jerry is dating a woman but wanted to date the woman's friend instead? Let's just say my parents and their college friends successfully executed a double switch. I'll leave it there. No one at the university right now. There should be plenty of parking and then we can look around. This is where my parents' dorm rooms are, in this cluster of buildings. There are a couple more buildings in this cluster now. This is Orange Hall. My dad's dorm was right there, second floor.
Right by you.
Dada's room. Now pan over to my mama's room, fourth floor. What could possibly happen? Walking over to what was the cafeteria, game room, and a small movie place. Looks like the game room is now some offices. Wonder where the game room went. Over here was a small hall where events were held. Looks like the cafeteria is now called the 63 Restaurant, a reference to UCF being founded in 1963. Now a pantry that provides meals and other necessities to the less fortunate students. This was once a tiny movie theater and restaurant called the Wild Pizza. One fond memory of the Wild Pizza. My parents saw the movie The Little Mermaid, which explains why they have to go on that ride in Disney World. The place was packed, and everyone in the building was laughing and singing along. No word on how much cheap beer was consumed that night. College. Now at the front of the campus, here is the famous fountain between Millikan Hall and the library. A tradition they have started during their homecoming. It is called Spirit Splash, and it's the only time students can actually go in the fountain and just go crazy. Close-up of Millikan Hall, I think one of the original buildings in this university. Check out this map. The university has grown quite a bit, and it is now one of the largest universities in the country. Looks like the rains have arrived. We are driving down Greek Row, where many of the fraternities and sororities have their houses. This is a newer section of the university. Another set of dorms and some shops and restaurants. This is also where the basketball arena and football stadium are located. Very different look than the dorms that my parents stayed in. Very much like the work, play, live areas that are popping up in major cities. Wayne Dunch Sports Center, near the football stadium. And finally, you can all debate this one amongst yourselves. And that's it for my trip to visit Memory Lane in Orlando. We were surprised at how large Orlando is. It actually spans 5 counties now. My parents hadn't seen the university in over 2 decades, and they were shocked at how much the area has grown. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, what are you waiting for? Subscribe and ring that notification bell to get the latest updates on my channel. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Bye!